Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Bradley, and today I would like to discuss the best practices that I have found for virtual teams and some of my recommendations over the years. Before we get started today, I would like to refer back to my past experience. In my junior year of high school, it became mandatory for all high school students to have laptops, and we were encouraged by our teachers to start using technology in more group settings and also to complete individual assignments as well, remotely. So when I refer back to my past experience with virtual teams, I'm able to pull from my high school experience and now as well my college experience to help me gain more confidence in presenting virtual so that I can also hopefully share some of my recommendations to you all today. So now that I have gotten that awkward little introduction out of the way, we've been able to discuss what I would like to touch base on today. I would like to shine a light on the main focus of today's presentation. So today I would like to touch on problem solving, cultural factors, and also the do's and don'ts within presenting virtually and how to have a positive virtual team experience. With that being said, I would now like to take a closer look into problem solving. So the two technologies that have been helpful with me throughout the years would be Google Drive and also iCloud. So with Google Drive, you're able to have access, shared access to different files, also different documents, and photos and things of that nature. This helps to create a convenience in the communication within your team members and also just help for an easier flow of information and resources to everyone within the group. Another technology that has also assisted me over the years would be iCloud. With using iCloud, it definitely does the same exact thing, just a different software, but it just allows each member to kind of have access to those shared files. And essentially what these two softwares are able to do is you're able to support team members in other areas where one may be lacking, which definitely is essential in virtual teams. Sometimes you do have to complete tasks that weren't necessarily assigned to you, but in order to meet that main goal, and whether it be the presentation or just getting that assignment done, you do have to step up to the plate. And I would like to refer back to a Forbes article titled How Technology Can Solve Business Problems. Author Hod Fisherman in 2018 wrote, "Technology is an enabler of business, and in many cases tech is the business itself." And I definitely would have to agree with this statement. Allowing technology to come in plays into the problem solving and the innovation that group will have essentially. They're able to have access to a whole new world of things, and it also helps create a convenience for your team members as well. So building off that, I would now like to go into some of the cultural problems that others may also face when technology is introduced into a group, just because it isn't always positive for each team member. So one of those things is that technology is a huge distraction, and for most members within a group, it can be distracting when trying to figure out which source of technology is going to be the main way of communicating within that group. So one thing that I've learned that is definitely necessary is establishing one channel of communication within the group. This just helps for everyone to be on the same page with information. So whether it be you're communicating via text, email, or in a group chat messaging app, there just needs to be one source of communication so that each member is on the same page of where to respond. And then also what this is able to do is it's able to help build those relationships, which is something that is very necessary in virtual teams. knowing your team members and knowing what areas they may need help in and then which areas they excel in is something that can definitely set your group apart, and making sure that you're able to meet those quotas that are asked of you. So kind of building off that, one thing that I would like to shine a light on are the collaboration do's. And then a little bit later, we'll also get into kind of the don'ts within that as well. So one thing that I would like to touch base on is another Forbes article. Author Carol Kinsley in a 2018 article titled "The 5 Tips of Virtual Communication," she stated, telephone calls, conference calls, and virtual queues, and also video conferencing, allows patrons to have facial expressions and hand gestures where they may be lacking in other areas. This is something that is amazing for each group member, but sometimes not given because you are in a virtual team setting. So that is when good communication, establishing and building those relationships, and getting to know your team members comes into play. So making sure that you all are meeting virtually, whether that be FaceTime, Google Duo, or sending back and forth videos in a group chat, just making sure that you're able to get that clear communication and get to know your team members and who you are working with overall, so that you are able to help each other at the end of the day. And then this kind of leads me into those collaboration don'ts as well. So what this can also look like is slacking on those assignments. So if that clear communication is not established and you're not getting to know your team members, this is something that can just happen naturally because people don't know what is expected of them in the group. So that's why establishing those clear lines of communications is so important. And then showing up late to meetings or becoming a no-show, which also then goes into unreliable behavior within the group. If your group members is someone that you cannot rely on, that's something that is definitely going to affect the group morale, and that's going to bring the group down eventually in the end as well. So just taking everything into consideration that I've been able to shine a light on today, I would like to just wrap things up with today's conclusion, where establishing communication is something that is super important in virtual teams. Making sure that you establish one clear line of communication and what that channel will look like. So whether it will be text, email, or a group messaging app. This will then allow each member to communicate and contribute in an effective manner and equally, which then goes into building those relationships with your team members and also eventually building up trust. This is something that is definitely essential in every group that I've worked in, virtual or in person. I hope that after today's presentation, you're able to take away some of my recommendations for group meetings. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. Thank you all so much for your time, and here is my works cited. Bye-bye.